How you doing, guys? So right now, I want to talk about Cyberpunk 2077 a little bit, well, more about it anyway. But basically, one of the article mentions that the guy basically has walked out of the demo room, and he got to see a new version of the demo on Cyberpunk in the Gamescom 2018. I just want to point this out. This is a somewhat similar demo that was shown off at the E3, but there's plenty of new things as well that we all got to see and heard about anyway. But yeah, just stick around, listen in, it's pretty fantastic. I just walked out of 1 hour demo of the Cyberpunk 2077 and oh boy, it was a nice one. We were seated in a cinema in a room full of game press media. It was a very exclusive behind closed doors event, and as of this writing, no gameplay has yet been shown to the public. This was a truly first look at the Cyberpunk 2077 that does not yet have a release date, and which is still in early build. We weren't allowed to take photos of the game session, just some of the city images in the waiting area. The demo started off with the character customization. You can choose between male and a female and completely fine-tune their looks. This included facial details, hair, colors, and certain RPG attributes. Whether you play as a male or female will actually change some scenes in the game, especially sex scenes. Needless to say, Cyberpunk 2077 is a game intended for a mature audience. After the customization, we started out in the enemy hideout with V, our main character. He or she is called that regardless of what gender you pick, by the way. And he's or her buddy, Jackie, a muscular male who brings heavy weapons to the fight and provides V with a backup in combat. Our objective was to rescue women from a hideout filled with enemies and get her medical help. She is rich and could afford a platinum package, which comes with the emergency rescue and special medical care. A full medical team was standing by in the VTOL nearby, ready to extract her when we cleared the place of foes. First, we went into the hideout quietly and stealth killed one of the people there. We put his head under the water and shot him in the head. The shot was silenced from the water, quite a creative stealth kill. In the next section, we were spotted by an enemy. V took out her pistol, which shoots the rapid fire, and we slowed down time and we went for some headshots. The environment gets a noticeable destroyed when you or enemies shoot at. You can fully destroy walls and shoot through them. Slowing down time is a very prominent feature in the game. This was used regularly throughout the game. After killing a bunch of level 2 enemies, there was a big guy with a Gatling gun shooting at us from behind a wall. The wall was getting shredded to pieces. We quickly flanked and shot him from the side. At the same time, our buddy Jackie tackled him to the ground, seemingly all automatic. After that, we found a wounded woman in the bathtub, fully naked. Nudity is at every corner of this game. We connected to her brain via the cable to access the damage and then carried her out of the roof, where the chopper actually landed. The medics told us to step back 5 feet and then put something futuristic on her body as first aid, then flew her away. Mission completed. So the next morning we see V burn the cash from this job on some male prostitutes. She wakes up half naked while her male companion leaves the apartment. Had we chosen a male V at the start, he would have ordered female hookers. The apartment looks fantastic and soundtrack fits the game beautifully. We opened the shades, the apartment overlooks the city, and the first look it was breathtaking. It cries next gen when you see it. Futuristic music kept playing in the background on the V's apartment radio. Next we went to her weapon closet to pick up her quick-fire pistol. She takes this one everywhere it seems. Then we put on a jacket. What stood out here is the jacket had an actual resistance attributes, such as the chemical resistance. So your jacket acts as an armor in the game, but in a stylish way. Now we stepped out in the street, and then when it really hit me, why they went first person ego shooter mode with this one. In a third person, you couldn't have captured the depth of the city the same way. It looks similar to the stuff of the Netflix hit series Altered Carbon. A very futuristic and vibrant city that feels truly alive. It's easily the most beautiful looking futuristic city in a video game so far. You see cyborgs, humans with robotic enhancements, walking around the street. Pretty much everywhere, and everyone has some form of a cyborg implant. Everyone looks very stylish. We went over a market square to meet with Jackie. He told us to go check in with Dexter, a quest giver. And our way we also got to see ads on the street. A cool feature that you can interact with everything in the game, even the ads. If you hold the interactive button on it, it will mark the location where the advertised product can be bought. A neat little feature. Oh, and in the 2077, the printing press seems to be still alive. There are newspaper self-serve shops on our way. Dexter's bodyguard was waiting around the corner and let us in the Dexter's car. He's a big man with a gold chain around his neck. He wants V and Jackie get a spider bot for him, an attack robot that runs and climbs like a spider. Many different dialogue choices presented themselves by the point. The ones that affect the future are colored yellow. They can totally change the course of the mission, even the rest of the game. More on that will follow in the later section. We accepted Dexter's quest and now we want to see our reproductor, Victor. He's a black market dealer for body upgrades. Want better eyes with zoom capabilities? Give your underground reproductor a visit and he'll hook you up with it within a few minutes. So as long as you got the cash. The money in Cyberpunk 2077 is called the Eurodollars. To the left of the Victor's entry door sits a cute little cat. Our demo presented debate shooting it or not and held off in the end. So it would seem there are animals, at least pets and cats. In the game they can be probably killed, although it wasn't shown and this was as it was indicated. We sat down at Victor's shop and ordered 2 upgrades. One was a new right arm that helps with weapon use, and the other the new eye that allows to scan enemies for the weaknesses, resistances, level, and highlights them in the game's world. V had to jump into the chair and get strapped in. Then our robot doc shut us down for a moment while the new body parts were being installed. We only installed the Mark 1 upgrade tier. The upgrade menu showed there are many more tiers and different starting upgrades. So not only do you get different things to choose from, you also get to upgrade them further. Alright, upgrade's done. Now we go to the Jackie's car, our big buddy. He drives a black muscle car that looks like a hybrid of Batmobile and Knight Rider. That's noteworthy is that although the on-foot sequences are all first person, the driving can be switched between first and the third person. We drove some in the first person and then in some in the third. Our next stop was the agent in the alley. We scanned her and her goons. Turns out they are high level and we wouldn't possibly stand a chance open combat against them. So we opted for a smart route and tried the nice approach. We revealed ourselves, after which we were greeted with her bodyguard's gun in our face. At this point the quest really can change directions. You can either grab the gun and start fighting, or which will most likely certain end in your death. Or you can opt to take a quest for them. As part of that, agent gives you a chip with 50,000 credits on it. V could use that to go buy Spiderbot that Dexter wants. It's our main objective after all. Or we could take the chip and then we'd have to find another way to get a Spiderbot. Or we could take the chip and do the errand as we're told instead of stealing the money. So many choices, so many possible outcomes. We went with her request and accepted the chip. We then choose to ask a yellow colored question about what else is on the chip. The agent was evasive. V knew there's more to it than the money. With the chip in hand, we could either do the agent's bidding, thus side with their faction, or we can go to illegal arms dealer that sells the Spiderbot and gives the credits to them, thus side with that faction. We went to give the arms dealers a visit. The demo presented noted that had we not taken that 50k from the chip, an alternative would been then fight the arms dealers. Trouble is that they're really well guarded fortresses. It would be a tough fight early on. Taking the 50k to them seemed like an easier choice. Once we arrived at the arms dealer were suspicious. Their boss Royce came out and asked who we were. We told him that we have the money. They put up their guns and Jackie quickly put up his. The stalemate standoff was following by the set of the yellow dialogues again. These would really change the outcome of the mission and shape the rest of the game. We could shoot the arms dealer right then and there. We could give them the money and tell them there's more on the chip, a virus. Or we could give them the money but hide the fact that there's something more on the chip. So the virus would bring down their entire computer system and take them out of the business. We choose to tell them what's on the ship, thus side with the arm dealers faction. They were most happy, ran a check and said this virus is nuclear and they will send it to their rival. We were given the spider bot and sent our way to leave. On the way out, Jackie noted that we could turn around and kill them all, thus getting our chip with 50k credits back and also keeping the spider bot, or we could just leave in peace. We went with a violent route this time, killing the unexpected arm dealers when they were standing out in the open, got back our chip but Roy's arms dealer leader escaped. He triggered an alarm and we were locked in the room. Depending on your skills build, there are different ways to get out. You could hack a console or change out some wires to open a path, and there are probably more paths still. After we were out, we got to see more high-end skills. There's a ricochet targeting system. You can shoot walls and the bullets will bounce off, thus hitting the enemy behind cover. It shows you the bullet trajectory while you aim at the walls, plus the enemies are marked behind covers, so this makes it incredibly easy to kill foes. One enemy dropped a big katana. It can be used as a melee weapon, but also to create a sphere around us that blocks all bullets. We slid into the enemies and cut him. One hit, one bloody kill. When other enemies fired at us, we used the katana shielding sphere to stop the bullets. We also injected soldiers with a computer virus so their weapons would jam and use the razor blade arms that were seen in the teaser trailer. They stick out of the back and are metallic, sharp, extra arms like swords. You can cut the enemies up close or drop on them from above for instant kills. We also got a shotgun. It can be charged by holding down the firing button. This way it deals double damage, while still consuming only one shot. There was also a scoped long-range rifle. All weapons that were shown used real bullets, not energy or laser weapons. After fighting our path through the altered hull of the enemies, we tracked down the last survivor, Royce, the mission boss. He was our first boss fight, so yes, I can confirm that there are actually boss fights in the game. He couldn't be damaged at first. We had to hit him weak point on his back and only then he would become vulnerable. So we did, and we packed up a military grade weapon along the way, which deals much more damage than the default ones. We had to use cover to our advantage this time. With normal enemies, we could pretty much rush into the room, slow down time and kill them all. Royce had a lot more health through, so we took more strategic approach. It took about a minute to kill him in a myriad of weapons. Boom, mission complete. We went outside and told Dexter we got his spider bot. This increased our streak credibility to level 2. Apparently this allows you to access more missions and more parts of the Night City. So it sort of tracks your story progress. Increasing the stat is mandatory to progress in the story. So here's the Cyberpunk 2077 logo popped in, the crowd gave their applause, and the demo ended. It lasted about an hour total. So the verdict, hype level 10 out of 10. It looks like a next-gen first person and indeed the right choice for this game, as it captures the Night City much better than a third-person view could have. There were no bugs, it ran smoothly, the city is alive and vibrant. There are lots of weapons and body upgrades, lots of RPG stats and new choices totally change the course of the game. There will be a lot of replay value to this game, and I can totally see myself walking around town for hours just to take in its beauty. This is an ambitious one of a game kind of type, unlike anything we have ever seen before. After reading headlines like it's not what you expected, I was skeptical, but after seeing it firsthand, my worries have been blown away. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching, guys. Tell me down in the comments what did you think, and yeah. Anyway, see you guys later. Like and subscribe as always, and yeah, have a good one, guys.